Fox X2. This is a shock that gets a lot of love and a lot of hate. Some people just love to hate it. This particular one is a 2022. They've been making this since I think it's 2016 was the first model year. I've worked on all of them except the 2025s, and each one's a little different. Some things don't change a whole lot, but they change everything just enough each year that you get a different service kit and different tools every year that you have to buy. So that makes things interesting and complicated, kind of expensive. Most of the time, there's nothing ever broken in these things when they need service. The hard parts in them are pretty well designed, pretty durable. And the soft parts, the ones that don't move, tend to kind of stay sealed and work forever. It's the stuff that moves that wears out. And as it does, it lets air go from the air can into the damper oil. And that makes for squelchy sounds when you compress them. Maybe you can hear that. What you're hearing there is pretty mild. They get a lot noisier than that. And what you hear is air in the damper oil. Air gets into the damper oil through the main shaft seal that you can't see in here because the pressure in the air can is a lot higher than the pressure that the oil is under. The oil is under pressure from an air charge right here. So over time, that difference in pressure between the oil and the air results in air from the can getting pumped into the oil. So that makes the cavitation noise, and that's usually what's wrong with these shocks. It makes your damper performance go away. It makes noise, but it's not indicative of anything broken inside the shock. I've seen a few of these things broken inside with the hard parts, but it's really unusual. The problem these things typically have is that they take on air into the oil really fast. And it's because of that huge difference in pressure between the oil and the air can. The heavier you are, the higher your air can pressure needs to be, and the higher your air can pressure is, the higher that differential is and the faster that happens. Also, every time you take a jump, you're compressing the shock here, and every time you compress the shock, the pressure spikes inside the air can. So every time that pressure spikes, a little bit of air gets burped into the oil. Now, this particular one has gone 2.5 years with no service. That's a long time. Sometimes they only go like 90 days. But you can definitely tell that there's oil in the air. And that means that when you take the oil out right here, it's going to come bubbling and fizzing out of there like champagne. But there's probably absolutely nothing broken in here. The sad thing about this shock, though, is that the only service that there is for it, so to speak, from Fox and the service kit itself also is a rebuild, and most of the time there's nothing that needs to be rebuilt in here. There's only a few seals that move around, and that's what wears out. The stuff that doesn't move around doesn't wear out. The big problem this thing has is just air in the oil. So you can, if you know how to do it, just change the oil if you're having no other problems with the shock, and that cures the cavitation noise and makes things run great. This particular one needs a rebuild because the air can seals are worn out, so it doesn't hold pressure anymore. There's nothing else wrong with it, but I can't just get the can seals. I got to buy the whole rebuild kit to do this. So yeah, this is kind of a shock that's built to be high maintenance and built to be expensive to take care of. If you just change the oil in these things until the can doesn't hold pressure, you're not going to break anything. You're not going to cause any problems. So, I don't know. This thing looks like it's just built to cost people money.